Meet Dave of Delusions of Grandeur, actor, producer, and director of films like Tales of the Forgotten. He has come to assemble a team of freaks, geeks, and even worse, film nerds, to discuss films ranging from mainstream to downright crazy. There's Tammy, car enthusiast, and Dave's fiance, Dustin, reptile expert and overall horror collector, Jake, environmentalist and fine art film critic, and finally Brandon, a therapist with a love of film that can only be seen as insanity. Together under Dave's leadership, they are Inside Movies Galore. Enjoy the show. Enjoy the show.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to another exciting film journey here on Inside Movies Galore. I am one of your hosts, but today we are continuing Muppet March, where we are continuing the Muppet journey. And I do believe that my fiance Tammy chose the next film. So, moving right along, Tammy, why don't you tell us a little bit about the movie that you subjected to us for us this week?
The Muppet movie.
Okay. And the Muppet movie is directed by James Frawley. It's written by Jerry Joel and Jack Burns, and it stars Jim Henson, Frank Oz, Jerry Nelson, among many others, and a ton of cameos. So I'm going to tell you what IMDb says about the film, and then I'll let Tammy bring us into first impressions. So, Kermit and his newfound friends trek across America to find success in Hollywood, but a frog legs merchant is after Kermit.
Did you point out the year of release? I don't remember hearing.
The year of release was from 1979.
Yep.
My birth year.
All right.
So, that being said, Tammy, bring us into first impressions here.
Well, I'm going to actually start off because, I didn't say nothing to you earlier because I wanted to wait. My great-grandma, my Nana, meant the world to me, and my Nana took me to see this movie. And I remember she took me to see this because I was 7 years old at the time when this came out. So that was something that, her and I went to movies at times, and I remember I just thought it was the greatest. The opening song, I always remembered it. In fact, my great-grandparents got me the record. The soundtrack, but it was a record.
Mm-hmm.
I had that for many years. I held on to it. So, but yeah, I always, as a kid, I did like the Muppets, and I remember when this movie came out, bugging her to take me to it, and she did, and I just had a fun time watching it, and I still enjoy it. Still enjoy going back to it because it brings up a lot of good memories. You know, besides that, I think the movie, even being as an adult, is entertaining. So, um, but okay. How about you, Brandon?
Well, this is not my first time watching it. I can definitely say that. I've uh, I've liked the Muppets for a while now. I admit this was not my favorite movie when I was a kid. I don't know why. I just couldn't get into it as much as I got into The Great Muppet Caper, which was always my favorite when I was younger.
Well, that one has the Happiness Hotel scene.
Oh yeah, of course. But at the same time, now as an adult, I have a lot more appreciation for this. And there's something about some of the songs and a lot of the messaging that they have for it that goes well. I mean, we'll be talking about the music definitely at the end of this, and
Oh yeah.
there's some real bangers in this. And of course, as a child, I wasn't able to appreciate all the cameos that I do now. And there are a lot of cameos in this movie.
I know I was looking up a specific person when we were watching it, and I'm like, wow, look at all the people that are in this movie.
Right.
Yeah, there are like 1.5 million cameos in this movie. And
It's like a who's who of 70s actors, particularly comedic actors. But yeah.
I was going to say this stuff last week, but to me, really, I wanted to save it until we were actually talking about like the Muppets as a group proper. And the reason why I say that is there's something about the Muppets that makes them kind of real to adults and to kids. I mean, they're not wealthy. A lot of shows, it's always about an upper middle class family or an upper class family. But the Muppets were not upper class by any means. They are poor, and they are trying to eke together whatever they can to survive. And there's something that one can relate to with that puts a lot of others into less relatable terms. So there's a lot of cool things about the Muppets, and this really was a celebration of that. And the fact that this came out in my birth year, I admit this movie I hold a lot higher esteem in my mind than the other one that was famous came out in my birth year, which was Alien. But 1979 was not a bad year. And I also chose this picture specifically because it was really cool where you went out and it was pretty much all of them, including the Sesame Street ones that they had there. For all I know, the Wilkins Coffee one is in there somewhere.
I think isn't it supposedly like every existing Jim Henson puppet, or at least they were trying for that.
So Elmo is down there somewhere. Actually, no, Elmo wouldn't be because Elmo, I think, appeared in 1980. So
He was a little later, I think.
It was 80 when he first appeared and 85 when he got his personality as the playful toddler that we all know and love today. But he didn't get famous until around the mid-90s when the Tickle Me Elmo thing came out.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like Elmo.
Well, yeah, I mean, Elmo was only meant to be liked by really young kids. It's sort of like one of those that you really had to have been a small kid at the time to really like Elmo.
He's annoying.
Yeah.
I think with the Muppets too is like you were saying. I think you can kind of like pick a Muppet that you could totally relate to. Is something with the Muppets too. You could there's one that just like you know, you may like this one, or this one, but there's like always one that you can kind of somewhat relate to.
Oh yeah, definitely.
I mean, the Muppet Show, they used to actually have it to where all the guests got to pick a Muppet that they would then interact with more. And almost every guest had a favorite Muppet that they always wanted to interact, and they would write it in so that they would interact the most with that Muppet. Man, one of these guests should have been able to pick Statler and Waldorf as their favorite, and that would have been interesting to see that major focus throughout. That's all I gotta
I
say
used to
about
watch the show. Yes. Big time.
Now, you'd have still been relatively young when the show was going on.
Yep. Okay. Jake.
Well, I am absolutely not fully new to this movie, but I would be hard pressed to swear I've seen it. I feel like, Brandon, you probably tried to show it to me during that movie game we did. I know you showed me Great Muppet Caper, but I feel like you probably showed me this one. I honestly can't swear to it. I ever saw it growing up. To this day, I don't think I've seen an episode of the show. There are a lot of the movies I've barely seen or never seen. I'm definitely not ignorant of the puppets or the works of Jim Henson. I mean, when I was a kid, I definitely watched Sesame Street. I saw Muppet Babies, talk about your ones that aim squarely at kids. I did enjoy that show as a kid. And when I was, and to your point, Tammy, when I was a kid, my character was Gonzo. Unsurprisingly, the great Gonzo was always my favorite. But the older and more bitter I get, the more Statler and Waldorf appeal to me. But I have my Statler and Waldorf days, and I have my Gonzo days, and I can also appreciate Kermit's optimism and his wanting to be the guy who helps everyone. Like he goes to Hollywood because he can make millions of people smile. That's what gets him. It's not the rest of it. So I like that. It's cool. And then of course it's all Fraggle Rock growing up. We've covered a couple Jim Henson movies on here that I did not see growing up. So, it's nice to finally get in there and get some of the stuff watched that I had not really seen. And of course I was at least somewhat familiar with most of the cameos in this movie, and a lot of them, it was good fun to see them show up when and how they did. Although a lot of them I thought were underused. Like, I guess Charles Durning is basically a supporting player, but nearly everyone else is a cameo. And I did appreciate how Big Bird gets a legit cameo. And I really enjoyed, I'm going to New York to star in public television. I did enjoy that. I thought that was fun. I can agree this is a movie that I might have gotten into as a kid if I'd had the opportunity. Maybe I did have the opportunity and didn't get into it, and that's why I have no memory of growing up with it. But as an adult, there's plenty to appeal to adults. It definitely is a good... and of course, I was very familiar with the song The Rainbow Connection. That's a Oscar-nominated song. It is considered a standard of the Muppet repertoire, and I know I've heard that song many times, so it was nice seeing that in context. So yeah, so far I'm enjoying our trip through the Muppets of the past. Hopefully we'll get, we'll have some fun moving forward with this. Like I said, I think this was my second time. I can't swear to it, but definitely glad that I got to chance to revisit it. Maybe one day I'll have some really nice Muppet component to my collection, but right now I'm just glad they're all on Disney Plus, because I've also been kind of slacking.
Not all of them, just the ones we've chosen.
Well, a lot more.
The third film that's the third film in what I would consider the trilogy, because the original trilogy of movies was the Muppets movie, The Muppet Caper, and Muppets Take Manhattan. Muppet Take Manhattan is not on streaming. You have to go to other streaming services to purchase it, and it's out of print. So
that's unfortunate.
Yeah, I mean, shoot, Muppets was it Muppets from Space, which was one of their latest ones. I remember that because it came out around the same time as the South Park movie. That one also is hard to get. So, it's kind of sad to see that some of the main ones are not available.
Right. But yeah, yeah, like I said, it's fun to see where it all begins. And yeah, I guess that'll wrap up my first impression.
Okay, how about you, David?
This is not my first time, but it has been a while since I've actually seen this. But as a kid, this used to be on repetition. But it's been so long that there were various gaps that I could swear I'd seen some of them, and then the next scene would happen, and I'd be like, oh, okay, what happens next? But as a child, this was a favorite. Growing up, and as an adult, I started collecting them, and to be fair and honest, my favorite Muppet movie out of the whole bunch is The Christmas Carol. But like you guys said, it had like a trilogy of films for the longest time. It had the Muppets movie. It had the Great Muppet Caper, which I don't remember as much. And then Muppets Take Manhattan, which I remember bits and pieces of that one too. So it's like, when I was a kid, it was on regular rotation, but as an adult, I just haven't had the time or the reason to go back and watch it, especially since Disney cut the fourth season from coming on to DVD. So of the Muppet movies. So which I think the movies kind of are like an extended version of the show, But I enjoyed this movie for what it is. It's the first time you actually see Big Bird on his way to the television networks. At least way before Big Bird showed up on West Wing. Which there was an episode where the Muppets actually came onto West Wing, which was a weird one. CJ Craig actually sat down right next to Big Bird, and it was like kind of like okay, this is awkward moment. But other than that, I enjoyed this movie for what it is. It's kind of a road trip movie,
Right.
But in any case, I like the Muppets. I've got some of my faves. Waldorf. I love them whenever I see them show up. Um, and it's interesting. I get a kick out of some of them, some of them more than most. So, but there I am. And Tammy, if you wanted to bring us into the plot line.
Okay, well, basically, it starts out with the iconic song, and Kermit's in his swamp singing it with his little banjo, and um, I think is it Deluise that comes along?
Tom
Don
DeLuise,
DeLuise. Yep.
Yeah.
Agent Bernie.
Yep, he comes along and tells him, he should go to Hollywood, and shows them an ad in the paper that they're doing casting for frogs, and he should really go.
Right.
And Kermit thinks about it because he doesn't want to really leave his swamp, but like we mentioned earlier, he thinks about it as he could make other people happy if he went. He's not thinking about it about fame for himself. He's thinking about that he can make other people happy and make other people smile.
Mm-hmm.
So he decides, okay, I'm gonna go check this out. And so basically, this starts off his journey of all these other characters that he's going to meet along the way that become his friends.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's always got to be a bad guy, always got to be a villain.
Mm-hmm.
We have a guy that he wants to promote Kermit for his frog business. And
Doc Hopper.
yes,
It's played
and
by
these are not. This business is for promoting edible frog legs. This isn't something fun frog legs. This is something that, of course, Kermit's not going to want to promote that because he's a frog. He doesn't want people eating frog legs.
Yeah, he's
And
right.
Hopper, played by Charles Durning, playing an even sleazier, slipperier would-be silver-tongued devil than he does in Best Little Whorehouse in Texas.
I do find it interesting. The guy actually, the reason why he ends up wanting Kermit as the spokesperson is he sees Kermit try to help Fozzie because Fozzie's bombing on the stage. So he gets up to dance with Fozzie. He doesn't help him, really, because it's still bombs. But he sees Kermit dancing. Is like, ooh, that's what I need. And going by the guy's previous commercials, yeah, he needs something to
oh, God, that was a hideous frog costume. Oh, my God. I was like,
yes.
Oh. But, of course, he meets... Kermit meets Fozzie in the El Sleazo Cafe, which he's approaching the building, this guy gets thrown out in the street, and he's like, that is the worst, seediest, low-down place on earth. And he's like, you should say something to the owner. I am the owner.
Yeah.
And that was James Coburn, much younger James Coburn in there. And we should mention the piano player in the bar is Paul Williams, who co-wrote the music for the movie. So that was they gave him a little bit of screen time there, so that was fun. But I always like.
I know I've seen him in other movies besides.
Right. Yeah.
I've always remembered him because he's like only the same height as me.
Which one?
Paul Williams.
Oh, okay.
He's not he's a very short man.
The things do come together though, because of they do go into that. Fozzie does have a Studebaker, so
Well, yeah.
a bear in his natural habitat, a Studebaker.
Yes.
Yep.
They have worse sense of direction than I do.
I know. I'm sitting there going out. That was almost like Ryoga travel there. They like left from the swamps of the south and passed through Rhode Island, passed through, what were some of the other places?
They're in Canada.
Canada.
Saskatchewan, they said.
Yes. And then somehow ended up back in the south.
Right.
Didn't they go through North Dakota?
Right. And of course, they had to do the fork in the road gag because, you know. But,
yeah, turn left at the fork of the road. And then he does. And then
right.
Kermit goes, what did he say? He goes, I didn't think that was going to happen, right?
Something like that,
yeah.
Yeah, that fork in the road.
An actual fork in the road.
I always remember that part because that's my favorite part.
Well, one of my favorite parts is when he was talking to Deluise, you know, before they take off, and he's talking about alligators, and he goes, "Read my lips, alligator."
Oh yeah, they yeah, there was that whole thing where the agent had to run from the gator.
I've always remembered that. That's always stayed with me about alligator.
We forgot to mention the movie actually starts with, and it's bookended by a screening of the movie. And so the first part, we see everyone kind of filing in, and we got the part where I think Bruno Kirby, I guess, has a brief cameo as the guard at the gate. But you see Statler and Waldorf pull up, and they're like, they introduce themselves. We're here to heckle the Muppet movie. Gentlemen, that's straight ahead. Private screening, room D. Private screening? Yeah, they're afraid to show it in public. You know, they had a couple, you know, they have to have a couple good heckles or else it's, yeah. It has a lot of, there's like running gags too. There was a whole Hare Krishna running gag that they kept coming back to.
Have you tried Hare Krishna?
Yes, exactly. Yes, there you go. That's the toughest, meanest, filthiest pest hole on the face of the earth. It's good times.
But yeah, I guess we're to the part where he picks up Fozzie, or Fozzie picks him up, whichever you want to say.
Mm-hmm.
Which, by the way, he's my least favorite character.
Which one?
Fozzie.
Yeah, I don't love Fozzie. I do not love Fozzie.
He annoys me.
Mm-hmm.
But, you know, not to mention he can't drive worth a crap, but... But yes, they're going along, and that's when they realize that the guy is following them, that wants Kermit in his commercial, and he's, you know, they're not going to leave him alone.
Mm-hmm.
So they pull into this church to try and in a way, like, get away from them, regroup, take a rest, whatever, you know, a mixture of things, you know. And
I will say, back to that opening scene, I will say Fozzie did set up what I thought was a really funny exchange. Fozzie and Dr. Bunsen Honeydew are like sitting next to each other in the theater. And Fozzie's like, "Oh, I'm so nervous. If I'm not funny, I won't be able to live with myself." And Honeydew's like, "Well, then you'll have to get another apartment, won't you?" I just thought that was fun.
I will say, before I'll duck out for a couple minutes, but I always loved the name Dr. Teeth and the Electric Mayhem.
Yes.
And a lot of it also goes back to the fact that there was a punk band that was playing in the Roanoke area by that name. It was a really small one, but I don't know why, but I always just loved the name. I just thought it was hilarious.
They're
And
a fun group.
they're a fun group. And actually, the show that they did, Disney Plus did, was not that bad with them.
Oh, I forgot about that. The the weird thing is, growing up, I always knew Animal, but I don't think and I wonder, it's been so long, I don't remember it. I wonder if they were even in Muppet Babies and if it was just Animal that was in that show, because maybe that's why I know Animal better than the others. I don't know, but we should also say that the El Sleazo also gave us our Madeline Kahn cameo, where she played a patron at the bar, and it also introduced Carol Kane as Myth.
Yep.
Which is a running gag where every time someone tries to say Miss, she'd show up, yes.
Oh, we're doing a running gag now.
Yes.
Actually, yeah, Animal was the only one in Muppet Babies, which is kind of sad because I want to say that the Muppet Babies were introduced in Muppets Take Manhattan when they had like a date with him and Miss Piggy, and they imagined back when they were babies, they did a song number there. Which is kind of sad that's not actually Muppet Babies needs to be available on Disney Plus too. The original one, not the remake that they did.
That's one I don't know if I could go back and watch though. I'm like, I don't know. Maybe that's better left in the distant past. I could be wrong. I could be very wrong. I don't know. Anyway.
But yes, they do meet the band. That you guys just mentioned.
They don't look like Presbyterians. Right.
Yeah, I'm not sure if that comment would hold up in this day and age.
And then we have the part. They're doing a really good. Well, we also kind of skipped how our first introduction to "Move and Ride Along," which Kermit and Fozzie sing that as they go along. And that's a fun, jaunty little number there. I like that song.
Yeah, that one's a good one.
Yeah.
And then the band, they do one.
Yeah. What is their song? Their song is Can You Picture That? I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was an interesting one. And then, of course, Kermit and Fozzie fall asleep, and they decide they told them that they were kind of running from someone. So the band takes it upon themselves to paint their vehicle. And they do I think that's when they were singing the song, is while they were painting it. And
Right.
It's an interesting color scheme and design that ended up working perfectly against a billboard later.
Oh yeah, it matched. I mean, it perfectly matched up to the billboard.
Right. But I like I like when Kermit and Fozzie come out and the band proudly shows them the car, and Fozzie's like, "I don't know how to thank you," and Kermit's like, "I don't know why to thank you."
Right?
Yeah. It was,
But unfortunately, that doesn't help them.
no, it doesn't.
No.
Because it's like the guys are looking for a bear and a frog in a tan Studebaker. Oh, there's a bear and a frog in a rainbow Studebaker. Oh.
The only thing that helps with that, the new color scheme is, like you said, they pull up on that billboard.
Yeah.
And they match perfectly with that billboard.
Right.
You know. But I think back to the band. I think the band is very interesting, and they go around, introduce themselves, and they start playing their song and everything. And I think it's a fun time, you know. And
it's also it's one of the parts where the movie shows that they're not taking themselves too seriously, because it's like they ask what's going on, and Fozzie starts to tell them the story, and Kermit's like, no, they don't want to see, like, looks at the kind of the camera, they don't want to see the whole story again. So he hands them the screenplay. He's like, here, just read this. And it's like, and then of course later when the band finds them in the desert, how'd you find us? Oh, we read the screenplay.
Yeah, and isn't the guy that's in charge of the band, isn't that Scooter?
Well, he's the road manager, yeah.
Yeah.
Scooter,
We get introduced to him.
Yeah. He was in Muppet Babies too. Scooter and Animal were, but the others weren't. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Scooter was always kind of white noise for me as the Muppets go. Like I never either liked or disliked him. He was just kind of there.
Well, yeah, he in the show, he tried so hard to make things, make things go right, to keep
Right.
what was going on the show that day. He was the one that was supposed to make everything happen with, that day of the show.
So he's like the stage manager. Like,
Yeah, he put up with so much guff from everybody.
right. Yeah.
But yep, them guys, they take off from there and manage to ditch the guy chasing them. And then let's see who they run into next.
Well, I think they literally ran into the Great Gonzo and Camille when they
Oh yeah,
they ran into each other.
literally, and somehow their vehicle ends up on the roof upside down on the roof of their car.
Yes. Yes.
That's funny how that happened. We're gonna hit them head on. Oh, well, somehow we missed them.
Yeah. It makes you wonder what it was that Gonzo was driving that was that insubstantial.
I totally forgot about that part. So that it's like when they say, "Oh, we missed them," and also the next scene is that it's upside down on their car. I'm like, "Oh."
Right. And then I believe from there they went straight to the car lot for a trade-in, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
And so we go to Madman Mooney's car lot, played by Milton Berle. And we meet Jack as well. I think Jack was the name of the character.
Yeah.
And he's like, the price is always exactly what you see on the dashboard. No more, no less, And Jack swats a fly and puts a period where there wasn't supposed to be one. We'll take that car that's $11.95. Yeah, that was great. It was like,
Oh yeah.
That was I especially liked it because from what I recall, Uncle Milt's reputation has not lasted well over the years. So seeing him screwed out of a car kind of amused me. But at any rate, and of course they invite Jack to come with them to Hollywood, and he goes to get his travel bag, and they think he's just gone away. So they leave, and he spends half the movie chasing them, but in a good way, not like Doc Hopper.
No.
One of the best parts about that too is that was probably the best vehicle on the lot.
It was not bad. Yeah, it was not. Well, yeah, originally Mooney tried to sell them on a rusted old VW Bug that he capped it. He like clapped the fender and it falls right off. And he's like, it's got detachable fenders for tight garages. It's like, yeah, no.
Well,
That's where Sweetums comes in.
Sweetums, that was his name. Yeah, well, they called him Jack. I forgot what they officially called him.
Wasn't he introduced in Hey Cinderella, I believe?
I'm pretty sure.
Because I remember something. He was introduced pretty early on. One of the fairy tale ones.
Okay.
I never remember which one.
I don't remember.
I love how he gets the fly and it just automatically puts it right there.
Right.
125. You owe us a nickel or something like that. I can't remember. Yeah.
Right.
Well, when they showed all the other vehicles on the lot, that actually was the best one on the lot too.
Right.
It was not a bad looking vehicle, although it does end up crapping out on them. But the yeah, they
Well,
went.
how they drive and how much time they go through and cover how much ground. I mean, for one of those cars.
Well, I believe they went to the county fair next, right?
Yeah, I believe so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So of course, enter Miss Piggy.
Yes.
Of course, the MC of the contest was Elliot Gould. It was always fun seeing him. And we got in that same sequence, Richard Pryor is a balloon vendor. That was this also the sequence where Bob Hope shows up? That was later, wasn't it?
That was later.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Oh yeah, Telly Savalas was in the El Sleazo sequence too.
Yes, he was.
Yeah,
Well,
about that.
I mean, Uncle Milty himself being the one selling the cars. I forgot. I thought he was Bob Hope at first, and then realized, wait, no, that's Milton Berle. But
Yeah.
it is amazing to see a lot of these people who have long passed
Right.
up and active. I mean,
Yeah.
you had the granddaddy of all cameos at the end.
Yeah. Well,
Oh, yeah.
also, I want to say, I can't remember when Edgar Bergen showed up. I think it was after this, wasn't it?
It's actually interesting because you got some of these comedians who are just getting out of stand-up and just really getting into the movies. Like, well, I mean, Richard Pryor being a good example. Right. He thrived the most in the 80s.
Oh, yeah, he looks so young in this, too.
Yeah. Yeah, he was really getting going in the 70s. And then, of course, later, we haven't gotten to Steve Martin yet, but he was one who was an up-and-comer.
Steve Martin always seemed like he had silver hair, no matter what he's been in.
Oh, I said for years, Steve Martin's a vampire.
He grayed way early.
For years, he was the jerk.
Well, he definitely
for years he was known as the jerk.
Well, he definitely was in this film.
Yeah.
I got a kick out of though when at the fair, the Miss Piggy actually wins the beauty contest.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's like she and Kermit are like, she immediately falls for Kermit, and Kermit, he notices her, but like that was always a 70-30 relationship. It's like, and I don't know. Piggy's another one. Miss Piggy's another one that never. I know she's a central character. She's one of a lot of people's favorites. She always bothered me a little bit. Partly it's because of her stalkerish clinginess to Kermit. And partly it's because she's such a flake. She up and leaves him at the drop of a hat. And she does in this movie. And it's no wonder
she's a narcissist as well. So
what's that?
She's a narcissist.
Oh my God, yes. The ultimate narcissist. But she does have her amusing moments. And it's I don't know, but this was an interesting way of describing their meeting, how they came to know each other.
Oh, Kermit!
Yeah. And again, Gonzo has his aim true love, Camila the chicken, but he does seem to have a little fun with the hens generally, but he's trying to buy a balloon for Camilla, and that's where Richard Pryor comes in. And Pryor kind of convinces him, why don't you get her both? Like he's saying, was it red or green? He's like, why don't you get her both? And Gonzo ends up buying the whole thing and flying away because the balloons are too light. He can't carry them all. And they end up having to chase him in the car. It's like,
okay.
Yeah.
Yep, and that's where we got that not only are they chasing Gonzo, but then they're getting chased.
Right.
And I love that when they hit that billboard and that pie comes flying and hits the other car, and the pie explodes like a pie, and it's like, but it was on a billboard. How is it how is it a
Right.
real pie?
It makes a very fun gag, but it also makes you wonder who the hell would do that.
There's a peculiar logic, and that's one of the things I guess it transitions from last week to this week more. Is that you get to see Jim Henson's uncharacteristic, strange humor
Right.
show up, which is basically it assumes the absurd. Like you look at this, like no rational person would actually think like or do this, and then you realize in the world, apparently nobody is very rational, and they do make silly decisions,
Right.
and things like that happen, and part of that helped define a lot of my own sense of humor because I love that weird irrationality. That's something that shouldn't be, but is.
Well, I remember you were very amused by, and I'm sure we'll get to it next week because I want to say it was a Great Muppet Caper where they quote unquote traveled by map.
Yes, true. Well, actually, I think Travel by Map wasn't that the Muppets?
The from the newer one?
Yeah.
Oh, it might have been. I don't know. We'll find out, won't we?
Yeah, we
Well,
will.
nothing's very rational in here because where is there? Bears don't drive cars.
Didn't you hear the natural habitat of?
Yeah, Spielberger.
Oh, and there was the part where it was like he tells Kermit that he was left the car by his uncle, and he's like, "Oh, I'm so sorry." Oh no, he's just hibernating. It's like, well, why aren't you hibernating? But
Well, there is a point where in the in Muppets Take Manhattan where they all separate out, and Fozzie actually tries to hibernate, but it just does not work out well for him.
okay. Right.
But okay, let's see. We're about to the part where I think that they're gonna stop to eat, and Kermit and Miss Piggy are gonna have romantic dinner together.
Right. We should mention that Miss Piggy has joined the party, as it were.
Yeah, she kind of forced herself on it because she thought that his askance of having her come get some ice cream meant that that he was inviting her to come along.
Right. Yeah. So yes, this was the ice cream section. So the ice cream vendor was Bob Hope. But yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, that what was it? They got Fozzie got like a honey ice cream, and Kermit he got like a dragonfly supreme or something.
Right. And
did not
he
look
told him,
terribly.
don't mix it up because you're not gonna want
Right. I'm looking at him like, yeah, that'd be an easy mix up. But yeah.
Oh.
So yeah, at the fancy restaurant is where we meet the insolent waiter, as he is credited.
Steve Martin's good at playing those roles of the total dick.
This was one of his smarmiest, most asshole-ish characters I think I've seen him play.
Well, I mean, Kermit did pay a whole 5 cents for that fancy. Like, smell the bottle caps.
It's like basically like sparkling grape juice. Like,
and they just like, yes, aren't you supposed to? It's like, yes, I guess so. They taste it. He's like, ah.
yeah, I just love that he does a spit take and then turns around and smiles and yeah.
I know. Then Kermit's like, well, that'll be all for now. And he goes, okay.
Right.
And then when he calls Miss Piggy for the phone, he goes, "Are you Miss Piggy?" You know, it's like, okay, do you see any other pigs around here? You know.
Well, don't
Right.
call her that.
Yeah, that's one thing that Jim Henson humor has done. Like, he would say, "Are there any other pigs around there?" Then there would be like 5 or 6 of them hanging around in the corner for some reason. That's actually a typical humor from from Jim Henson, would be to do stuff like that.
Right. Well, I mean, like, that's for some reason that's a trigger for her. It's like, even though her name is Miss Piggy, if you call her a pig, that is triggering, and it's does sometimes set off like I when she goes into full karate mode, that actually is one of the times she amuses me.
You wouldn't like me when I'm angry.
Exactly.
Yeah. She's got that Incredible Hulk vibe.
Which, of course, she's called away from the table because her agent's on the phone and never comes back. And Kermit thinks she flaked out on him until he hears from Doc Hopper that there's a...
But that's when we meet Piano.
Mel Brooks.
No, Brooks.
Oh, no. She
You're
was
talking about Rolf.
we meet Ralph in the place that they went to dinner. Yeah.
Because he like Kermit was talking about, like, yeah, she's left me again. He's like, yeah, can't live with them. Can't live without them.
Apparently, this is one of the only times that Jim Henson did not do the puppeteering for Kermit, because he also does Rolf, and they have that duet together. So he had to entrust someone else to do Kermit because he doesn't have 3 hands.
Yeah.
The story.
Right.
But yeah, and what was their song? It was what was their song? It was a
Let's look. Never, Never Again?
No, I think
No.
no. Miss Piggy did Never, Never Again. That was her.
Okay.
ballad.
Then it would probably be I Hope That's
Yeah.
Something Better Comes Along.
It was.
And that's another one musically and lyrically by Paul Williams.
Right. I think they did.
Ken Asher.
They did all the original songs for the movie. Of course, Jim Henson voices Kermit and Rolf, and I think he does a couple of the other big ones. Frank Oz voices Fozzie and Miss Piggy, and so they're the ones actually singing these songs, which is interesting. They're not great singers, but they're and of course, can you picture that also featured Jerry Nelson, Richard Hunt, and Dave Goetz? And Goetz is the one who plays Gonzo, so there's a Gonzo song coming up that he does too. So yeah, that's one I kind of like about the movie. It gives it its own odd charm that the characters are singing very much in character, and they're not great singers, but it works. You know?
Well, yeah. In this instance, they don't really have to be great singers, you know.
Right.
Yeah.
And musically and lyrically, the songs are pretty solid, so still works. Although I did not love Piggy's song, I will admit that. It was sappy.
I do like the next scene because it's one of my favorite cameos, which is Mel Brooks as the doctor.
Yes, Professor Max Krasman. Yes.
Yes. At this time, they've kidnapped Miss Piggy to get to Kermit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I'm a little bit unclear. I'm a little bit unclear about the plan, because they want to turn his brain to jelly so that he'll be more compliant and willing to work for Doc Hopper. But I don't know how Hopper thinks he's going to still be able to perform once his brain is turned to jelly.
Hopper doesn't think that far ahead.
No, I don't think he does.
No, because he just wants Kermit as like the spokesperson, you know?
Right.
I mean, I like how it's like he's offering like $200, just that's it, you know, for like 5 years. If I was like, ooh, $200. But it is funny how he does it. I mean, a lot of the character types, and it was a very fun scene. I mean, where basically you could tell Miss Piggy was able to get out of the situation anytime she wanted, but she was waiting for him to try and save her. Then once it turned apparent that wasn't going to happen, that's when she was like, "Okay, time
Fuck
to
this shit."
Yeah. She breaks free and beats all of them up.
Right.
Yes, she definitely goes all kung fu, man.
Well, if I recall correctly, I think one of the things that kind of helped push her over the edge was that I think one of them did call her pig, but she also did want to protect her Kermie.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And then, in true Miss Piggy fashion, she gets a phone call and she disappears.
Well, yeah, she gets a phone call and she whispers into the thing, and I think it's about a commercial, and then she goes off once again.
Mm-hmm.
And like the funny thing is, how would she be getting a phone call there? She was kidnapped and brought there, you know.
Right. Yeah, her agent knew how to reach her there.
That's one thing again, that's that logic. There's the illogical, but the idea of that accepting, what do they call it? I can't remember the word for it, but yeah.
What, the miracle exception?
Well, that you have to, you know, it kind of like suspended disbelief.
Well, there you go.
That if your agent wants to get a hold of you, they can get a hold of you.
Yep.
Let's see, where are we now? Okay, so they get through that and they're back on the road again.
And I think this is where they break down in the desert, isn't it?
Yeah.
Well, they come across Miss Piggy and pick her butt back up again. Yeah.
Ah.
And then they do break down, yes.
Yeah. And they're really upset because the audition, I think, is the next day, and they're just, you know, somehow they haven't been in a time crunch this whole time, and now but
and poor Kermit is thinking, you know, I didn't make them come with, you know, or I didn't promise them anything. I didn't promise them, you know.
Yeah.
Right.
And he's trying to logic everything, and you know, even his own self is talking to him.
Right. And he realizes that he promised himself, and you know, that's something that he does want it. He was excited about the idea, but yeah. And wasn't it? Was it this section? Was it this section where we had the song led by Gonzo? I think with
Gonzo does his song now.
Right. This says and Frank Oz. I'm trying to remember if Fozzie was helping him out or if it was. I don't remember exactly. But
well, and then Kermit does a walkabout at the campfire,
right.
And I think when he comes back from that reverie, the band that he had actually run into with animals had shown up with their own tour bus,
Right.
and they were all like, "Hey."
Well, the previously mentioned Kermit talking with himself, but yeah, they show up and they've settled right into the campsite.
How did you find us? Well, you left your script behind. It says
Right.
we're out in the desert.
Right.
So we figured that's exactly where we were in the script.
Right. And then they hit the road again with a reprise of moving right along, you know?
Right.
And then that Doc's like sidekick pulls him over. He's dressed as a cop to warn him that the Doc has got this guy that's going to totally annihilate Kermit.
Right. We should mention Austin Pendleton plays Max, who's Doc's the sidekick guy. And let's see, who did he hire? He hired what they call the guy. It was like Snake something or other.
Yeah.
It's like, oh no, they call him Frog Killer, I guess. Was that Frog Scott Walker? Does that sound right? Yeah, whatever.
But yeah.
Yeah.
So where are we now, Tammy?
Well, the cop pulled him over, and then
It so happens to be Max.
yeah, and he warns them. So then I believe they continue on, right?
Yeah. They continue on to the that ghost town, if I remember correctly.
Oh yeah.
Because he warns them that he's hired a frog hunter.
Right.
So then Kermit tells them, "Well, have them meet me at the ghost town."
Mm-hmm.
And then that's where we meet. Was it Beaker?
Beaker and Honeydew, yeah.
Yes.
Apparently, they've taken over an abandoned saloon and turned it into a laboratory. Yeah.
Yes, and they've got these pills that make you bigger, which Animal, when nobody's paying attention, takes a whole jar of these pills.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And so then Doc shows up with his entourage, and Kirby's gonna go out and meet him, and he's got the little cowboy boots. It's so cute,
He does meet them at high noon, right? Am I remembering that correctly?
Yes, but he's got those cute little cowboy boots. He looks
Right.
cute. And he gives them this speech, which is a very heartfelt speech, and you think that he's going to actually leave Kermit alone. You think that he actually took Kermit's speech to heart, and he is just going to leave him. And then he goes and says, "Looks okay, boys, kill him."
Yeah.
And then Animal shows up because Animal ate all those things that made you go bigger.
Right. He just like grows right through the ceiling of the saloon and towers over everybody. Yeah.
I don't remember how Animal got back to animal size, though.
Well, Professor Honeydew did say specifically that the effect was temporary.
Oh, yeah, that's right. He did
Yeah.
say that. But with as many pills as he took to get that big.
Right.
Yeah. Who knows?
Okay.
So, okay, now I guess they're the last leg of their journey now, right?
Right. Yep, they are coming up to Hollywood.
Right, and then they're in the office, Who is it they're trying to meet again?
They're trying to meet Lou Lord,
Yeah.
producer, who's based on, I think Lou Gross is the name of the. That doesn't sound right. It's Lou Grade, I think, is the name of the producer, who actually had a. Wait, was it him? Am I getting those names right?
Yeah, I believe so.
Yeah. He was he was one of the main financiers for the movie, and so they decided to memorialize him by having a character based on him. He also has a cameo in the El Sleazo section. But the Lord's secretary is Cloris Leachman, who has a very unfortunate allergy to animals. Even though they're technically Muppets, but whatever.
Right.
And they basically subdue her with dander.
As you do.
As you do, yes. And then I guess it serves her right because in Young Frankenstein, the mere mention of her name caused horses to cry out of fright.
Oh, that's her?
Yeah.
Boy, she looks a lot different
That's
in here.
Rob Luker, yes. And then, of course, Lord himself is Orson Welles in one of his last roles.
It is kind of funny to see some of the roles he has taken.
Yes. Yeah.
I mean, he was. He was one of the bad guys in the Transformers movie.
I believe that was his final role. Well, here, of course, he sizes them up, and then it's like right up the standard rich and famous contract. Yeah, as you do. I'm trying to remember where Edgar Bergen showed up because that was an important one. I feel like that was the county fair sequence, right?
It could have been because there were a lot of cameos in that.
That was the guy with the puppet.
Oh, yeah, he was the judge.
Yeah, oh, right. He was the judge of the beauty contest, yeah. Because Edgar Bergen was apparently a well-known, ventriloquist that Jim Henson claims was a major influence on him as a child. And so this was one of Bergen's last roles. He died shortly after, and the movie's dedicated to him. So that was
the one that had Charlie in it, the puppet. Yeah, that was I don't remember exactly where that particular one came. I thought it came later.
I felt like that was the county fair, like she said, the judge, but I could.
Yeah, he was at the fair and he had the puppet with him.
Yeah. But anyway, so they get to make their movie.
Yes, they do. So,
Sweetums gets there just in time to wreck the set.
Right.
Wait, or does he wreck the screening?
Oh yeah, the screening. That was it. Yeah.
Right.
Well, the set gets wrecked too as they're singing the song "Rainbow Connection" at the end.
Right.
Which ends in that scene there with all of them.
Right.
Oh, you call it Jack Sweetums?
Yeah, I think that is his name. Yeah.
That's the name that they've always called the character. I guess they called him Jack in the movie, but
okay.
And we should also note that during the screening of the film, for some reason, for whatever reason, the projection booth is being manned by the Swedish chef.
Oh yes. And partway through the movie, he messes the whole thing up.
It all the flippity flippity. Yeah. That's a fun character. Maybe not the most PC, but he is fun.
Yes, I enjoy the chef to a certain extent. Certifici.
I like Beaker.
Well,
Arguably the two most unintelligible of the main characters.
me.
I know, but that's why it was always so funny.
Right,
But you couldn't understand the Swedish Chef either.
right.
No, you couldn't.
I mean, heck, even Animal communicates more clearly.
Animal's my favorite. He's the one. He's my one that I connect with. He's my favorite. My second one is Rolf.
Hmm?
The dog.
Rolf is entertaining.
Yeah.
So,
I remember when I was a kid, and every time the Muppets were on, I was hoping that either Animal would be on or Rolf would be on. Those were the two I wanted to see always.
we should mention that big sequence at the end that we mentioned with all the Muppets. They had well over 100 performers making sure all those Muppets were moving.
Oh yeah, that'd be computers. That would be CGI today.
Yeah, they put out a call, and Jim Henson's son Brian is in there. You got John Landis in there, and you got Tim Burton in there, among other people. So that was kind of cool that they brought so many people in for that.
Yeah, because if you go on IMDb, and it says it's got the second part of people that were involved.
Yeah,
there's that whole big list, and that's for this ending piece,
right.
you know, because it says that they were a Muppeteer, they were Muppet, you know, so there was quite a few names.
The Muppet Show was still going strong during the time this was out, so. Because it went from, I think, the late 70s into the early 80s.
Yes, it certainly did.
Let's see here. Well, IMDb lists 76 to 81 for that series.
Oh.
So this would have been kind of toward the tail end of it, but yeah, you had 5 seasons. It's a pretty good run. Ending with an episode starring Roger Moore, apparently.
There
sure were a lot of stars that they brought on that
show.
I need to see the last 2 seasons, but I do believe a lot of it was a rights issue that kept it
the second
originally.
So the second to last had Linda Ronstadt. Oh, I definitely need to see some of these older. I didn't see the show really. I maybe saw bits and pieces, but never really sat down and watched it.
But they sure had a lot of people on it.
Yes, they certainly had a lot of people in this movie.
Oh, yeah.
Well, they had a lot of people on the show, though, too.
Yeah.
Yes, that too.
Kind of got off to a slower start in terms of people. Like Juliet Prowse was their first guest, and I don't know her as well as some of these others. But
Alice Cooper was on there.
You had Rita Moreno, Jim Neighbors,
Alice Cooper,
Harvey Korman, Peter Ustinov.
Oh, I mean, shoot, Mark Hamill was on there.
Right.
I actually remember the episode. I actually remember the episode with Alice Cooper.
Oh. I'm going to guess that was maybe season 3 or 4. Yeah.
Probably.
John Denver starred in the first one in season 4, and Crystal Gale. Oh wow! Yeah.
The
okay.
funny thing is, I didn't know who Alice Cooper was at the time either, but I thought he was really cool, but I didn't know who he was.
The Stars of Star Wars. Is that the one y'all were just talking about with Mark Hamill? Or... Anyway.
Oh shoot! My father played Alice Cooper when I was in the crib.
Huh. All right.
So where are we?
I guess music, because not music, production, then music.
Yeah.
I
Okay.
thought the production was good. I mean, come on, it's 1979 and it's Muppets.
Oh,
There's
Oh,
um, there's good humor in it. I think there's a a good storyline because you got your villains, and then you got your it's got the nice thing of making friends, having an objective for them, and all and then you got all the cameos in it. I think the production was actually really good.
here's an interesting thought that goes along with production. They must have cast this movie in season 2, because season 2 featured episodes with Milton Berle, Edgar Bergen, Steve Martin, Madeline Kahn, Dom DeLuise, Bob Hope, and Cloris Leachman. And
Oh,
all of them
wow.
showed up in the movie. Unfortunately, some of the others in season 2, John Cleese, Peter Sellers, Julie Andrews, Elton John, they would have been interesting additions, and George Burns, none of them were in the movie, or Don Knotts. But yeah, you had that's interesting. They must have just been like asking their guest stars, "Hey, do you want to be in a movie?"
Don Knotts, I think, would have been hilarious in here.
Oh, so Alice Cooper was season 3. Okay, yeah. Let me see.
so I mean, as far as practical, Henson was always excellent when it came to practical effects.
Oh yeah.
I mean, you had a lot of the things like the collapsing stage here at the end, or even the scene putting all these together was amazing.
Right. Well, they went all in. I was reading that supposedly one of the most difficult things they did was getting Kermit to ride a bike, but they figured out a way to do it through puppetry, which is pretty cool.
Stuff that they would have just automatically gone with CGI today because, well,
yeah.
I mean, that's the easy way out of it. Then they didn't have that, so they had to really get creative. So it was impressive what they did. That all of that is practical effects.
Well, all the scenes of Fozzie driving too,
Yeah, they had apparently they had someone in the trunk controlling the car via remote, and then the puppets, like the puppeteers, were in the bottom of the car. It's like, that's interesting how they pulled that off.
That's dangerous.
Yeah, the one that bugs me a little bit, because I hate waste, and I really hope that they manage to recycle this effectively, because I don't think this is a prop you're going to see used again, was when Animal got huge. Apparently, Henson was adamant that they use a regular size set and not use a regular Muppet and a tiny set. So apparently they built like a 60-foot tall Muppet to be Animal. And it's like, that's pretty crazy.
Wow.
Well, that is amazing, but yeah, I agree. It's kind of wasteful.
Yeah.
Definitely sounds like it.
They usually cannibalize stuff like that for other projects once
Right.
Especially something that big.
Yeah. And hopefully they figured out a good way to do it. But yeah. And well, we mentioned a lot about the cast and the various aspects there, but
you had a lot of different scene like areas that took place. You had a lot of backdrops, which that also costs with locations. You had the town, you had the swamps, you had the a whole bunch of different sets.
You had a lot of roads that nobody else was on.
Right.
All right.
Well,
Considering
according
what they were doing to drive it, it was probably a good thing.
so according to IMDb, the desert sequence was filmed near Albuquerque in New Mexico, and it looks like most of the rest of it was filmed in California. Probably all the rest of it. I'm sure a lot of it was filmed on studio lots, but part of it was in Salinas Valley, part of it was in Lake Sherwood, California.
California has a lot of varied biomes anyway because of how big the state is. It's not as big as Texas, but it's much taller than Texas, which
yeah, it's a good sized state. Yeah. With a lot of like California is it's a lot of different places crammed into one. Is one way to put it. But yeah, like apparently some of this was filmed at the Vasquez Rocks Natural Area Park in Agua Dulce, California. Part of it was at Palisades Park in Santa Monica. They filmed some of it near they filmed like the Hollywood sign, you know. It's like a lot of stuff in and around LA and elsewhere, but yeah. So not a huge amount of location shots and nothing really shot in the East, but you know.
Where was the swamp at, or did they say?
There was honestly, I think that was probably a set.
that looked like a set.
But the one thing I read was that they had Henson down under the water in a drum doing the puppeteering for Kermit. It's like, that must have been fun. Yeah.
Let's say some amazing practical effects and
Yeah.
a lot of work that had to go into it that you had to do. That's one of the things I think makes me still impressed with things like micro budget films is that you have to use certain effects because you can't afford all the fancy ones. So if it looks good, it's because they were really creative and figured something out.
I think that's why I like a lot of older movies myself, is because, like you were saying, you know, people had to use their imagination and they had to use their you know, they had to come up with how you're going to make this work, how you're going to make this happen. You know, they couldn't just hit a button on a computer, you know? They had to actually make things happen. That's like, you know, with older movies, like when there's a bat in it, you can somewhat see the string for the bat. Okay, so what? You know, as I'm older now and I can see the string for the bat. You know, when I was younger and I watched it the first time, I didn't see the string for the bat. Okay, but now I can. But I appreciate it, even though I can see that string. I appreciate it. You know,
Right.
if that makes any sense. You know, I appreciate, you know, this. You can see how some of these things are done now that, you know, I'm older, and now that I've been doing this with you guys and everything, and analyzing films a little bit more and stuff, and ever since I've been with David too, and I see some of these things in the films and everything, and things that I might not even have looked for or thought of it, but it actually gives me a lot more appreciation for some of these older films, because I can see this stuff, and it's like, but you know, they had to think to make it do that. You know, they didn't just hit a button. You know, so
I think the production of this movie was phenomenal. I think that Jim Henson and his company was ready to put this together. He had a team behind him. He had to get all the particulars in order. He had to get all the set designs down pat, and I think he just wanted to throw a lot into the production action, and sometimes that doesn't work when you put like multiple celebrities in one, because you're trying to get so many ideas and so many people in. Like, so many people were probably calling up me like, "I want to be in your movie." You know, Well,
Right.
oh well, hold on. Let me go back to the script and see if I can write you in. You know,
Right.
and
it's
I think a
fun.
lot of the actors and actresses that did show up wanted to be there to help support the puppetry and the advancements and what Jim Henson was doing. A lot of people were going with the flow, you know.
And you think they had to have a lot of people, anyways, to make the puppets work. It's one thing to make them work. It's another thing to make it believable, and also they have to have a voice. So
Yep. So, alrighty. Well, let us talk about music then.
Well, real quick, we were just talking. I think you were just talking about the various cameos and whatever.
Yeah.
This says on IMDb, when several celebrities who were scheduled to do cameos had to drop out due to scheduling conflicts, others were brought in. Writer David Odell was hired to rewrite the script and make each new cameo fit. His work on the movie led Henson to offer him the job of writing the screenplay for The Dark Crystal. It's kind of fun.
Yeah.
But, yeah. Anyway. Let's see. But yes, music.
Music. Did anyone like the music? I know we've talked about it over time. I mean, Rainbow Connection is obviously a favorite.
I mean, a lot of those are well known. I mean, Rainbow Connection, even Moving Right Along is well known.
Mm-hmm.
Several of those are ones that you might even think about and may never ever have watched this film. And that's something there. This is actually a soundtrack that I believe is worth owning, which is the highest praise, in my opinion, is that you can enjoy the soundtrack on its own. And I do think very much that you could, both background music and songs.
well, like I said, I had the record of the soundtrack for when I was a kid.
I feel like maybe we did. I know that my mom absolutely loves Rainbow Connection. Like, she just loves that song. And I feel like either she or my dad would have had that soundtrack. I just have no clear memory of it.
I wouldn't have been surprised if your father didn't play it once or twice, because I know he could play it.
I think he probably did play it at some point. I'd have to ask Mom if she remembers, but I feel like he probably did perform it at some point. Yeah. It was it's a good one. But yeah, like I said, I like Moving Right Along. I think that's a fun one. And that one, I want to go back there someday, something like that.
That's Gonzo's song.
It's Gonzo's song. From what I was reading, apparently that was one of Jim Henson's very favorites, and Dave Goelz actually sang it at his funeral in honor of him. That was like one of his favorites. Which I was also reading that Paul Williams was told by Jim Henson, "I don't want to hear these songs as works in progress. Just play them for me when you got them, and I'm good." He's like, "I know they're going to be great." So he showed a lot of faith, but for him to turn around then and say, "Yes, this is one of my favorite songs," I'm sure Williams probably loved that. That would be a great validation for a songwriter, I'd imagine.
Okay.
Yeah.
Anyone else on music? Alrighty. Let's move along to favorite scenes and our favorite characters.
Move around along.
Oh, we talked about the songs, though. The music was also quite good. It's the same people that did the songs that did the music. And the 2 Oscar nominations the movie got were for the songs and for the score. So, I mean, for Rainbow Connection and for the score. So, definitely the movie got a little bit of praise for its music when it came out.
Deserved.
Yep. Anyway.
Okay. Favorite scenes and/or favorite characters. So let's start with you, Jake. Why don't you tell us favorite scene and/or favorite character, and favorite Muppet while you're at it.
Well, like I said before, growing up, my favorite was always the Great Gonzo, and I still like him a lot. But I do like Statler and Waldorf. I think they're great. Favorite character in this movie might well be Kermit. I mean, really, he is the driving force in the film. And it might be that he would be my favorite character if we're narrowing it down to just this movie. As far as... of course, you might also say, what's the best cameo in the movie? You know, it's like, because there were some good ones there too. But if I were to say that, I'd almost say James Coburn's appearance because I was amused by that. But favorite moment might be. I don't think I have a clear favorite moment in this one. There's a few moments. I love the moving right along musical number. I love the part where Kermit tells Coburn you should complain to the owner, and he says, "I am the owner." I love the part where the band paints the car, and Fozzie's like, "I don't know how to thank you," and Kermit's like, "I don't know why to thank you." I liked a couple of Statler and Waldorf's quips. I'll probably go with those because I can't really think. Oh, and the moment with Big Bird where he said he was going to New York to be on public television. I like that part. And the mentions of the screenplay, how the band was using the screenplay to find them. I was amused by that. And we'll go with that.
Okay. What about you, Brandon?
Well, my favorite Muppet, ever since I started watching the Muppets with Muppet Babies, would have been Gonzo. I always felt Gonzo got a raw deal in Muppet Babies a lot of the times because he was the most amusing, but he always got the shaft. I am glad that they didn't carry over his crush on Miss Piggy though. The favorite character in this, however, I don't know. There's a lot of fun ones. Maybe I will go with the villain because I don't know. He was a very amusing character. I mean, the fact that there's a scene where he which is characteristic of Jim Henson's humor, where he hires a frog assassin, which is just something that people just accept, you know. I mean, in this world, yeah, I mean, such things as a frog assassin, well, of course, that's just going to exist.
Right.
But favorite scene, the original, just the opening, Rainbow Connection. It just to me, it's above and beyond it, because out of all of it, it sticks with me the longest, and will probably stick with me long after our discussion ends.
I should have mentioned that sequence too, but yeah, had a long list.
I got two first.
Okay. What about you, Tammy?
Well, I basically have two favorite characters because Animal's always been my favorite, and then I believe is Rolf is the dog, right?
Right.
Yeah.
He's always been one of my others. Um, I mean, I not that I don't like Kermit, but you know, Kermit's usually everybody's favorite. um, favorite scenes. I definitely do love the opening because I really do like the song. Um, but I do like I like that whole scene where the um the band is playing, and while the band is playing their song, they're out there doing the car and everything. Painting it. They're doing the song and painting the car at the same time and everything. So I like that whole thing. I thought that was pretty neat.
Okay. Is that pretty much it then?
Yeah.
Okay. I think I'm going to go with, as far as my favorite Muppets, I do like Beaker, I do like Animal, and I do like Rolf. Kermit is always a favorite. Miss Piggy, only when she karate chops people is when I actually get a kick out of her. But for the most part, she's kind of annoying. But as far as favorite scenes, uh, the fork in the road, the alligator moment, the uh, the last scene where the big monster steps out of the screen and is like, "I knew I would catch up with you guys."
Mhm.
And I do enjoy the fact that they destroyed the whole production, and then a rainbow kind of connected with them in the very end. I love that scene. But and the Steve Martin. Even though I don't like Steve Martin, I like that scene. I get a kick out of that. For some reason. Other than that, that's pretty much it for me. I mean, did anyone else have anything else to add?
No.
Alrighty. So that is it, ladies and gentlemen, men, for the original Muppet movie. Hopefully, if you get a chance, I know it's on Disney Plus for those of you who want to pay penance to the mouse. Go right ahead. It's
Still
it's
easily
definitely
on physical.
yeah. It's definitely worth it to have it on physical, so that you can just pop it in whenever you want, willy nilly. But if you want to pay the piper, go ahead and get Disney Plus and watch it. And when you do come back, let us know what you thought of the movie, what you thought of our discussion, and hopefully you have enjoyed our thoughts and added progression of the film. So, in any case, next week I do believe we have another Muppet movie for you. And who's hosting that one?
That'd be me. We're doing the second in the trilogy, which is the Great Muppet Caper, which I guess happens while they're in their big movie making career, because really and truly, the Muppet Caper is a movie that is made by the Muppets. So, very interesting concept.
Okay. Well, on that note, hopefully you ladies and gentlemen have enjoyed our movie progression as we've gone forward, and we'll see you next week here on Inside Movies Galore. Everyone say good night.
Good night.
Good night and good luck.
Inside Movies Galore just makes you just want more. We've had all in the world of media to explore. Horror, anime, or Curious George. Our love of new things was our reward. It is the best night of our week.
Frankly, my dear, I don't give a damn.